Maya and David had been friends since they were kids. As they got ready for middle school, their parents thought it would be a good idea to separate them by making them attend different schools. The idea behind this is that each of them would be able to craft their personalities and identity without the influence of one on the other. Very quickly, their parents realized they had made a big mistake with the decision as Maya and David kicked against it. They wanted to be in the same middle school, and they told their parents that they planned to attend the same school through college. Their parents realized that they had more in their hands than they bargained for. Their parents allowed them to go to the same middle school, but the parents decided they will put their feet down and separate them at high school. When it was time for high school, after much deliberation and debate, the parents achieved their goal. Maya and David separated and went to different high schools. But their friendship continued. They constantly visited each other and spent time together doing same activities and enjoying similar hobbies. Their connection was undeniable, a natural bond that seemed effortless. They shared secrets, supported each other through challenges. They never imagined a day that their friendship would end. They continued to spend incredible times together. Of course, your guess is as good as mine. They started to develop feelings for each other. They started to date, but they tried to hide it from their parents because they know their parents might attempt to put an end to it, like they separated them at high school. They had a plan to overcome any attempt by their parents to separate them again. They applied to the same college without their parents' knowledge. The college was the most prestigious one. It is the dream of every parent to have their children attend this college, and no parent will tell their child to give it up. It is very difficult to get into this college as the entrance qualifications are very high. Maya and David decided to increase their effort at studying in order for both of them to get accepted into this college. They burned night candles and studied endlessly, making sacrifices that impressed everyone around them. Then came the results of their application. Maya and David got accepted into the prestigious college of their dreams. It was then that their parents realized their children were proactive and have gone one step ahead of them to protect their friendship. The parents were happy for their achievement, but were caught off guard. None of the parents was willing to withdraw their child from this prestigious school, so they went with their children's plan. Maya and David started preparing for school and a life together away from home, where their parents have monitored and tried to separate their relationship. What started as friendship slowly turned into love. They were so proud of their bond and how they supported each other throughout the period of adversity. The parents decided that it would be nice for both families to celebrate the achievement of their children, so they decided to organize a joint celebration party at a favorite restaurant in their city. All the families and friends were in attendance, and it was a beautiful time of celebration. Maya told David that it is probably also a good time for them to let their parents know of their love, since everyone was in a good mood. David thought it might be too early, and maybe they should do a year in college first before letting the cat out of the bag. The parents, being religious, decided to take the celebration of their children's achievement to church for a Thanksgiving and dedication service. After the service, Maya's parents were looking to introduce her to one of their family friends when they walked in on Maya and David kissing in the car park. Maya's dad was so upset that he was scolding and shouting at David at the top of his voice. He warned David to stay away from his daughter and never to be seen around here again. David tried to apologize, but Maya's dad was not having it. Things started to get loud when David's parents were called to the scene of action. They scolded David too and tried to calm things down. David's parent tried to apologize, but Maya's dad was not having any of it. Out of anger, he told David's parents to also stay away from their family. A few days after the event at the church, David's parents decided to go to Maya's house to have a conversation about what happened and to find ways for both families to resolve things and move forward amicably. But Maya's dad did not welcome them and refused to let them into his house. This was when Maya knew that this situation was more than she thought. Maya and David tried to communicate by emails to see what they could do to ease the situation, but most importantly, to make sure that their plans for school is not tampered with. Maya and David continued to plan for school despite the breakdown in communication between their parents. It was exactly 2 weeks to school, and the lovebirds couldn't contain their joy and expectations towards each other. Finally, they will be together and fulfill their dreams. Maya's dad came back one afternoon and told Maya that she will no longer be attending the prestigious college that she had applied to, but will be going abroad to study. He told her how he had made alternative arrangement to attend a highly rated school abroad. Maya was not happy about this and vowed that she will not attend the school her father was talking about. Tempers were rising, and Maya was throwing tantrums all over the place. Her mother tried to calm the situation, but neither Maya or her dad were ready to reach a compromise. After several days, Maya began to realize that her dad is serious and will not change his position on the new school abroad. She knew she couldn't afford to pay for school on her own, hence she will have to attend the school abroad. She told David about this through their email communication. She cried her eyes out and was even ready to give up on school just to be with David. The two lovebirds were separated from attending college, and Maya traveled abroad. She was visibly sad, and her body language and appearance showed she didn't care for the school. Maya's mom tried to counsel her that she should see it as a new opportunity to see life in a different way, but Maya was not impressed. Maya never got to see David before she left, as her parents ensured she was never alone by herself and never left the house without supervision. But the lovebirds kept in touch through emails. 3 months after Maya left for school, her parents decided to move away from the city, thereby creating more gap between them and David's family. Maya and David were not worried as they continued to communicate and shared different stories about their individual schools. After several months, the communication between Maya and David got shorter and scarce. The time difference and the workload began to eat into their availability for each other. During the holiday, Maya's parents decided to travel to meet Maya for the holiday, rather than Maya coming home, to prevent any form of friendship igniting between Maya and David. Maya's parents were happy to learn that it has been a while that Maya heard from David. Maya's parents had an idea of who they want their daughter to be with.
No need to rush.
They introduced Samuel to Maya. Samuel was the son of a very rich business mogul that owns the largest stake in a pool investment diamond company with funds from several investors. Maya's dad had applied for business contract with the diamond company 3 different times, and his applications were turned down. He saw a relationship between Samuel and his daughter as a pathway for him to achieve his business ambitions. Maya realized what was happening and confronted her dad for his selfishness. She promised not to be involved with Samuel. But Samuel was nice to Maya and constantly spoiled her with expensive gifts. After some persistence, Maya started to fall for Samuel, and they began a blossoming friendship. David, on the other hand, had dropped out the prestigious school as his parents could no longer afford the fees. David had to enroll in another college in order to continue his ambition of attending a medical school. After David got admitted for his residency in medical school, he tried one more time to reconnect with Maya.
I would do anything.
But he never got responses to his emails.
I would do anything.
He was disappointed as he expected at least a reply based on the friendship they shared. David decided to move on and focus on his career. David became very kind toward his parents and family. He was determined to behave very well in the public and never to bring any shame to his parents again. Maya and Samuel's relationship grew into a meaning commitment, and everyone could see them travel all over the world. Samuel lavished Maya with a lot of gifts and endless trips around the world. One day, David was watching the news when an interview came on. Samuel was being asked about his father's diamond company. He was flanked by Maya, who was wearing a beautiful dress and smiling at everything Samuel was saying. David was so heartbroken, and he knew that he had lost Maya to Samuel. He was very sad for days as family and friends could see that David was not his normal self. After a few weeks, he decided to put himself together and face his medical career. He stayed late at work and worked for several hours just to try to get Maya off his mind. Samuel came to visit Maya one day when Maya's dad asked them to take their relationship to the next level. He acted like he cared about the pair, but deep down, he believed that once Maya and Samuel gets married, he can be granted the contracts and more opportunities and connection. Samuel thought about it, and he decided to propose to Maya. The wedding date was set, and plans were in top gear for the ceremony, which was planned to be a 3-day event. Top vendors in the city were employed to bring this carnival-like wedding to life. Invitations were sent out to the dignitaries, and it was a restricted guest list at the wedding. The wedding day was one of the most beautiful things the city had witnessed. The colors of the attires were unique and uncommon. The fabric were imported and handmade. Everyone in the city could tell that a unique and once-in-a-lifetime event was happening. It was covered by most of the major news channels in the country. Of course, David saw the news and was happy for Maya, though he felt like he has lost the love of his life, but he was happy to see that she was happy. Samuel and Maya traveled to 4 different countries for their honeymoon. Maya's dad was very happy and was now certain his plans are beginning to align, and in no time, he will be able to attain his goals of being a very wealthy man. The day after Maya and Samuel arrived back in the country after their honeymoon, Samuel's dad slumped and died from a heart attack. Samuel and Maya were very devastated by his death. Samuel cried every day and night. He refused to eat and would not talk to anyone. He was really saddened by the event. Maya's dad felt the weight of the world on his shoulders because he had borrowed a lot of money for the wedding with the hopes of paying back once the business contracts he targeted were awarded. Maya, on the other hand, was dealing with Samuel's non-communicative, non-cooperative behaviors. Samuel withdrew completely from everyone and was forced to attend the funeral. Maya got continuously worried about Samuel's behavior, but everyone advised her to give him some time, as it is a phase that will soon pass. Several months after Samuel's dad passed, Samuel will not change, and his conditions worsened as he barely ate and communicated with his wife. He will lock himself up in the basement of the house and will not let anyone in, not even his wife. Maya grew increasingly worried and sought to seek help from experts about Samuel's behavior. Maya's dad started to sell some of his properties in order to offset his debt. He became very disturbed because of the debt. It affected his health, and he was in and out of the hospital. He couldn't afford to pay hospital bills any longer and resorted to self-medication, which worsened his condition. One day, Maya's mom went to the local market and ran into David's mom. She tried to hide and turn around, but David's mom had already seen her. David's mom called out her name and decided to say hi to her. David's mom could see that Maya's mom wasn't looking well and could tell things weren't good with her. So she decided to ask about her well-being and paid for her groceries. Maya's mom tried to pretend as if things were still great, but it was very obvious that things were not. Maya's mom apologized about their behavior over the years, but David's mom told her to let it go. David's mom found out about Maya's dad and his health battles. She told Maya's mom that David is now a doctor, and she will tell him to see what help he can offer. Maya's dad was reluctant and stubborn to get any help from David. His ego won't let him bring himself to get the help he needed. David decided to go to him with some medication. David assured him that he is no longer upset with him, and that he was sorry for the incident that happened between him and Maya years ago at the church. David decided to help Maya's dad by admitting him to his hospital for free. He continued to look after him and his conditions began to improve. Maya's mom was so grateful to David and her family, and she made sure she showed the gratitude endlessly. Maya was facing difficult times as her husband still refused to communicate with her. All the efforts to seek help for him failed. Samuel would sit in the house all day and talk to no one. He never worked in his life, and now that his dad is gone, he doesn't know how to work or what to do. The diamond company was going under, and the majority of the investors were pulling their capital. The diamond company was sold, and the shares were divided among the investors. Samuel was left with little or nothing, which made him angry and built rage within his soul. Maya tried to comfort him that they could find jobs and live a decent life. He got angry and viciously attacked her. He laid hands on her. She became unconscious and had to be rushed to the hospital. Maya couldn't afford the treatment in this hospital, so her mom took her to the hospital where David was the presiding doctor. David was sick to his stomach to see her in the condition that she was in, but decided to keep a professional composure. After he attended to Maya and made sure she was stable, David excused himself from the room that Maya was and went to the bathroom. He held the walls and locked himself in and noticed tears streaming down his face. He cared deeply about Maya and was upset to see her in that condition. He blamed himself and thought maybe he didn't fight enough for her. He felt maybe he should not have listened to their parents and should have fought for her, but he knew that he tried his best at the time with the little control he had. Maya's parents were so grateful to David and his family as they continuously expressed their gratitude, as they also continued to apologize for what happened in the past. When Maya woke up to consciousness, she was surprised to see David by her side and that he had become a really accomplished doctor. David gave her a smile and held her hand, telling her everything is okay and he will make sure that he gives his best to get her back on her feet. Maya tried to smile, but she was in a lot of pain. She felt a deep sense of regret and started crying. Maya's mom was also overwhelmed with the emotions of the moment and joined her daughter to cry. David left the room as he couldn't stand to see her cry. He went into his office to be alone. David came back after a few minutes and encouraged Maya to stay strong. He advised Maya that she needs to get a lot of rest and take any worries off her mind in order to expedite her healing. David continued to take good care of Maya and her family until they were well and back in good health. Maya thanked David for all his help and kindness. She gave him a very big hug and held him tightly for a long time before letting go. Maya returned to her husband, But she was terrified every day his condition had worsened. Maya was surprised that he didn't show up once to the hospital to visit her. Samuel ramped up verbal abuse against Maya, accusing her of cheating on him with her ex. Maya was very disappointed. She promised Samuel that no such thing happened. David took a sabbatical for 6 months to reset and recharge. He traveled to a tropical island. While David was on his sabbatical, he met a young lady called Olivia. David was struck by her beautiful eyes and smile. Olivia noticed David's fixed gaze on her and decided to walk to him to start a conversation.
When I saw you, I would lose
The
control.
two sparked a beautiful friendship. David was very humble and never introduced himself as a doctor. Though David and Olivia enjoyed a great friendship during their time together, it was time to return home. And David never thought of seeing Olivia again. He has learned his lessons about long-distance relationship, and he is not about to put his heart through that again.
Maybe somewhere.
He exchanged contact information with Olivia, but was not sure he would use it. The situation between Maya and Samuel became irreconcilable. When they separated, Maya eventually filed for divorce as she feared for her life. She was left with nothing and had to move back in with her parents. David arrived back in his city and continued his work as usual. He spent time visiting Maya and her parents, making sure they were doing well. One day while David was at work, he got a call from the front desk that a visitor without an appointment was around to see him. David was reluctant to let the visitor in. His hospital staff are well aware of his policy when it comes to unplanned visits. David decided to take his time to finish his reports, and after 40 minutes he asked the visitor to come in. To his surprise, it was Olivia. He was not expecting her, and she never called to say she was around in David's city. The two spent time catching up and reminiscing on their time together earlier in the year during David's sabbatical. David asked Olivia how she found him and what she was doing in his city. Olivia told him that her dad has been working on some business acquisition and she wanted to come help out. The pair enjoyed another kick to their friendship, and this time it was David's turn to show Olivia the beauty of his city. Olivia visited David every day and will stay till David closes from work. The two spent inseparable times together. Then David decided to introduce Olivia to his parents. Maya, on the other hand, had started working as a sales associate with a startup organization, trying to get back on her feet. Maya was having lunch with her mom one weekend when she asked her when was the last time she saw David. Maya stated it has been a while. Her mom encouraged her to pay him a visit at work and maybe do something nice for him, like taking a nice lunchbox for him. Maya was reluctant about this idea from her mom. She doesn't want anything to be awkward between her and David and would rather maintain the friendship that she is grateful to have regained. Her mom kept persuading her to go see David. After several persuasions from her mom, Maya finally gave in and took her mom's advice. She went to David's hospital to see him and took with her a lunchbox. When she got to the hospital, the nurses recognized her from the last time that she was there. She asked to see David, and the nurses treated her as an old patient that wanted to see the doctor for a follow-up maybe. Maya walked right into David's office to see David having lunch with Olivia in an emotionally charged atmosphere. Maya dropped the lunchbox in her hand by accident, and the food spilled on the floor. Maya was embarrassed. She apologized for disturbing them. David tried to make her feel comfortable, but she was too embarrassed and unsettled. David tried to introduce Olivia to Maya, but Maya could not contain herself. She eventually left in a very awkward manner. Maya got home and cried with regrets, telling her mom about her ordeal at David's office. Her mom consoled her and apologized that she had no idea that David was seeing someone. Maya's mom explained that she thought David was still single. based on the last conversation she had with David's mom a few months ago. Maya's mom explained that she only thought maybe Maya and David could reignite their friendship based on how he visibly cared for her at the hospital when she was admitted. David went to see Maya that weekend just to make sure she was okay and wanted to help her get over the embarrassment. He took Olivia with her. Olivia brought a lunchbox for Maya. Olivia and Maya laughed about the lunchbox issue and they had a good conversation. Maya told David how proud he was of him and wished him and Olivia a great life together. David found out that Olivia's dad was the one that bought the diamond company that Samuel's dad once had. David thought he was being humble by not telling Olivia he is a doctor when the two just met during David's sabbatical, but he learned that Olivia is very humble with a good strength of character. David and Olivia decided to get married in a very modest ceremony despite their wealth. They both agreed that the marriage is more important to them than the wedding ceremony and event. They gathered close families and exchanged their vows under the moon. The story of David, Maya, Samuel, and Olivia is a testament that love, loss, and healing are all part of the same journey. It's in the moments of struggle that we find our strength, and in the moments of heartbreak that we learn the true meaning of love. Because sometimes the greatest love stories are the ones that lead us back to ourselves. We are so obsessed with dating and marrying financially stable partners in this generation that we forget to check if they are mentally and emotionally stable, if they are spiritually sound and have been raised right, if they know the value of family. Thank you for watching. If you have been blessed by this video, kindly give it a thumbs up, drop a comment, and share with others. Do not forget to subscribe. Catch you in the next video. Until then, take very good care of yourself.